Ange has been speaking in his press conference, and what do we have in terms of team news?
Well, no injury news this weekend, so no one is out this weekend who wasn't out last weekend. So the long-term absentees are Udogie, Forster, Sessegnon, Timo Werner, Manor Solomon and Ben Davis all remain unavailable for this weekend, but no new players are injured.
So all those players, you won't see them again this season, as we've known
a lot of them
for
again
a while.
Probably. A few of them. Maybe.
That's true. Apart from Destiny Udogie and Fraser Forster, the rest of them we don't know about. But look, let's get into the predicted lineup, and let's start off with the goalkeeper. 4-3-3 formation as per usual, and it's obviously going to be Big Vic in goal.
Yeah, who else? Actually made some important saves last time out against Burnley when we beat them 5-2. Hasn't quite had the second half of the season where the first half. Do you reckon there's any question marks over Vic at the moment?
I think there's slight question marks in terms of the way he commands his box, especially from set pieces. Definitely that's come to light in the second half of the season, but you got to back him to improve that.
No, definitely. I'm just saying, like, when we're looking at him now at this point, and a lot of first half of the season we were looking at that deal with Raya, and we're looking at Vicario saying we definitely got the better deal there. Is that still the case?
I'm still getting the better deals. Difficult to say because Raya's been very largely untested this season. Like, I think, in terms of out and out goalkeeping, I think Vicario has been better than David Raya this season. I think distribution, Raya has been better. In terms of his strength in the box, I think Raya has been better, but I'm still happy with the Vicario deal. I really am. And second half of the season, slight worries, but I do back him to improve that. But he needs help from his teammates as well. It's not just on him. So, I'm still happy with Big Vic. But he's in goal. And we have got better. Well, I say we've got better. I felt like we were better at defending set pieces against Liverpool.
Yeah, true.
Let's go on to right back. Pedro Porro, obviously last time against Burnley in the FA Cup, scored a peach of a goal. Let's hope he can repeat that.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very important that he's on his game in this one if we're going to make it as comfortable as it should be against a Burnley side, obviously, who need the points in this one. But he's got up against some tricky wingers. They got Bryn Larson on the wing. Odebear can go on that side as well. These are players who they do rely on quite a lot to get some of their joy when they go forward, Burnley. So Porro's going to have to make sure he's dominating the area. But I feel like recently his set-piece delivery and his delivery from wide areas hasn't quite been the same level as we know it can be. So calling on him to improve that.
Yeah, absolutely. In the right centre-back position is going to be Cuti Romero. Maybe a slight dip in performance last week against Liverpool, but I still felt like he was one of the ones that were really fighting till the end, fighting when a lot of the team showed that they lacked fight. So that is definitely something that we need in this team.
Yeah, I think he'll be confident of dominating those duels between the likes of Forster and Fofana potentially in the forward line, or Amdouni, whoever they decide to play. They will be a threat in behind because they do have a lot of pace over the top, but I think Romero will back himself to make sure that he's cutting off the supply and he's being very, very aggressive. And I saw that was something they really struggled with against Newcastle last week. And so if we're as aggressive as them and Romero can set the tone for that, we should make it a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, and left centre-back is going to be Mickey van der Ven, as per usual. Again, he's had a string of really... I think he's had a string of really strong performances still, even in 4 losses in a row.
Yeah, I think so. And I think when I look at Burnley, Foster is a really big threat in behind. He's got a lot of pace. They've been quite effective at finding him in behind. I remember watching the game against Man United a few weeks ago, and they were able to find him quite a number of occasions in on goal. And luckily for United on that day, Onana was equal to a lot of his efforts. So Van der Ven's got to make sure that when they play those passes over the top, he's the one getting on the end of them and not Foster. And that's going to be difficult because Foster's quite good at that, but I'm pretty sure Van der Ven will back himself.
And at left back, Ange has been speaking about him in the press conference today, and that is going to be Oliver Skipp after his really strong cameo at Anfield. I think the whole of the fan base are calling on it, and Ollie Skipp we are putting in to start a left back.
Yeah, and I think he showed more than Emerson did in the 2 games he started with that half-an-hour cameo. I thought he was quite effective. And I think Ange is absolutely spot on. He was talking in his press conference about the way they play their fullbacks. Skipp will find himself in a lot of familiar territory in terms of being in the central midfield. So there's no reason why there can't be some overlap and why midfielders can't play that position to fill in if need be. And I'm more comfortable Ollie Skipp being in that position than Emerson Royale. So I think Skipp gets to start.
So that is the back five. In terms of the number 6, we are going to stick with Bissouma. I think Bissouma, in terms of on the ball, I thought he was a lot better against Liverpool, but off the ball, I thought he was absolutely dreadful with his lazy work getting back, and obviously should have been shutting down Harvey Elliott on the edge of the box as well, which I think he's been... We've seen that a couple of times this season from Bissouma, so hopefully he's back to his best this weekend, because we're going to need it.
Yeah, I thought in the last 20 minutes against Liverpool, he was actually really good, and hopefully he can take that kind of level into this game. He's going to need it because Burnley in recent weeks have been playing quite aggressively. They've got the likes of Sander Berge and Brownhill in the centre, who don't give you a moment's rest. They're very difficult to compete with in the central midfield, and Man United got overwhelmed by them a few weeks ago. Luckily, they got that draw, but Newcastle didn't. That was the key to Newcastle getting that result last week. They were very combative midfield. Bruno Guimaraes showing his quality and made sure that Burnley weren't getting the joy in the middle, and same with Sean Longstaff as well. So Bissouma's going to have to make sure he's very aggressive in the centre, making sure Burnley don't win that battle, and we should be fine in this game.
In terms of the 2 midfielders ahead of him, on the number 8 position, we've gone for Dejan Kulusevski, which was a bit of a shift from the Liverpool game, because he played on the number 10 against Liverpool, didn't he?
He played on the right.
Oh, he played on the right. Sorry, it was the number 10 the game before they against Chelsea.
Yeah. We're going to put him on the number 8. We're thinking maybe Ange will take inspiration of how we ended the game against Liverpool, with 2 attacking mids behind in front of a number 8, and how much better we looked and creative. And maybe if we can do that in this game from the start, we can reap the rewards for that. So we've gone for Deki in the centre. Obviously, we know he's got that combativeness as well. He gets involved in duels, and he's going to have to do that to greater effect if he's playing this role on the weekend. And
alongside him will be a return to the starting lineup to James Maddison. And I think this is something that we've been lacking a bit against these kind of teams this year. We've all too often played it a bit too safe in midfield with more defensive-minded players like Pape Matar, like Bissouma, like Bentancur. Maybe not defensive, maybe as defensive as maybe some of the other ones, but you look at James Maddison and Kulusevski, 2 proper attacking-minded midfielders. We need to be doing that more often, in my opinion.
I agree. And obviously, Maddison has come out for the last 2 games, but it's not like it's helped things, has it? I feel like against Chelsea and against Liverpool, he was missed, and I think we were probably a bit better when he was on the pitch anyway. Not to say he was brilliant when he came on, but I thought the team probably looked a bit better when he was on. So I think he does come back in the team, and hopefully he can somewhat get back to the form he was showing earlier in the season. We keep saying it, but still hasn't done it yet for James Maddison. His Euros spot probably under threat at this point, considering his recent games, so he definitely needs a good performance here.
On the right-hand side of the attack, we are going for Brennan Johnson, pretty much the only option if we put Kulusevski in midfield.
Yeah, and I feel like Johnson last couple games has had spells on the left and has really not looked anywhere near as effective as he has been when he has been on the right. In those appearances against Chelsea, I thought he started the game on the right, was actually probably our most dangerous attacker before being moved over to the left and became completely ineffective. Liverpool, he started on the left, was completely ineffective, moved over to the right and then got an assist for himself and started to look a bit better. So we're thinking he's definitely going to start on the right, and especially if we're going to start Richarlison, which we'll talk about in a minute, that link up is going to be vital here.
So Sim gave this spoiler already, so that is Richarlison up top. And a bit of a mixed bag from Richarlison the last couple of games. Against Chelsea, started the game, I thought he was really poor, and then he came on against Liverpool and was a key contributor in changing that game with his tenacity, with his aggression, got a goal, got an assist. So I think he's earned the right to start in this one.
Yeah, and those first-time finishes in these type of games are going to be crucial, especially with Burnley being a bit more resolute than they have been before. Having someone like Richarlison who can run across the defender, get that little flick and finish, which he's been so good at with Brennan Johnson, I think that's going to be vital in this game. So we're lacking options right now, so I think Rishi has to start and come in, especially after his cameo against Liverpool.
And finally, on the left-hand side, our captain Heung-min Son on the left wing. And last time out against Burnley in the Premier League, he did score a hat-trick. So he's got previous against them this season. And I thought against Liverpool, he was fairly poor in the game. But when he did move over to the left in the latter stages, he was actually upped his performance level a considerable amount. So hopefully he can take that kind of end of game and bring it into here.
Yeah, obviously when he did score a hat-trick, he was playing up front, so it's going to be a different role for him this time round. But as you say, against Liverpool, he played really well there. I still got doubts about him, but I think in this kind of game, I actually think I'm quite confident he can actually get a lot of joy in this game playing on the left. So we've got him out there for this one.
All right, so let's run through that predicted lineup with you guys one more time. It's Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Ollie Skipp at left back, Cuti Romero, Mickey van de Ven in the positions, a middle three of Yves Bissouma, Dejan Kulusevski and James Maddison, Brennan Johnson and Heung-min Son supporting Richarlison up top. So what is your prediction if this is the lineup?
Well, I said in my predictions 2-1, just because, Burnley, if they lose this or even draw, I think they are relegated. So they're not going to want it to fall away too quickly. I feel like could be a bit of a tight game, but I just feel like the quality we have. I saw Burnley really struggle against Newcastle last week, and they just succumbed to what was superior quality at the end of the day. And I think it could happen against Spurs as well, albeit I see a bit of a tighter game. So I've gone for 2-1.
Yeah, there is a kind of, maybe not in the Newcastle game, but as of late, a newfound resilience in this Burnley team, which could be difficult for us. And I think that's how they'll set up from the beginning. They'll be tight, they'll be hard to beat. But I do feel like if we can get the early goal, we could make it into quite a convincing victory, maybe like Newcastle did. But I'm going for it to be edgy in the first half, maybe Burnley to take the lead, potentially 1-1 by half time, and then the gaps, as the later the game goes, the gaps will start to appear, and I think Spurs can pick them off, and I think we will win the game by 3-1. There will be a ceremony after the game, picking player of the season, the lap of honour as well at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where me and Sim will be getting all the footage for you guys. But that is the predicted lineup. I will know your predicted lineup and score predictions in the comment section below.